Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. I haven't filmed a video since so long. I have been just really lazy and I was not able to find the time to film one, but I'm finally filming a book video today. The last few months I have read quite a few books. It's not as much as I wished it would be. It's still like a good amount, I feel. And because I've been so busy lately, I am not able to read as much as I did last year, but I'm still trying to read at least one book a month, you know. So I've read quite a few books which are very popular. I've been seeing them a lot in the internet. So I wanted to share my views about them, whether I would recommend them or not. And also I'm going to be showing you some of the books that I recently got, ones that are in my TBR list. That's all this video is going to be about. Keep watching. Alright, so the first book that I want to talk about is Good Girl, Bad Blood. In one of my last book videos, I had talked about the first book in this series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And ever since that, I really wanted to finish the whole series. There are in total 3 books in the series. And then I picked up this one. So in the first book, Peep tries to investigate a murder. It happened long back in her town. But in this book, actually, one of her friend's brother goes missing. And I would say that this book was a little different from the first one in a good way. Obviously, this was very suspenseful. Just like the first one, it was using a lot of interviews, a lot of pictures. All of that keeps it just interesting for you. One thing I liked about this book, and something that I liked about the first one as well, is that the chapters are very short. It just keeps you engaged and it will not get bored at all. So for me, I would say that this book was definitely a 4.5 star. I still like the first book a bit more than this one. I was reading it at night and I was damn scared. I was just not able to sleep, honestly. And yeah, that's a good thing if a murder mystery doesn't let you sleep. I mean, that's a win for me, I guess. And then I read last book in the series, As Good as Dead. I have some mixed feelings about this book, honestly. I mean, it's still good. I just wasn't really invested from the second half of this book. I mean, if you read this book or if you ever read this book, then you will maybe understand what I'm talking about. All the thrilling stuff happens in the first half, but towards the second half, the book gets really boring and it follows kind of like a different story altogether. I don't want to give too much away. It will be like a big spoiler if I tell you why I did not like the second half. Obviously, this book also had a very big reveal, and this will tie all the 3 books together, but still, like, this could have been better. Really excited to see what's gonna happen, but then all the good things just happens in the first half and then the second half just doesn't do it for me. I would still give this whole series like a maybe 4 star. I like that this book was trying to show something different, but I'm not sure if I like that. Overall, this whole series for me is a hit. I definitely would recommend this series to everyone who wants to read something good, something that will not allow you to sleep at night. But yeah, definitely a very good series. Keeping in the same genre, I read the Agathas. This is something that I just saw in the store and it looked interesting to me, so I just picked it up. It wasn't that exciting, to be honestly. The plot is very predictable in a way. So this is about this girl who is very popular. So she dies. Everyone is blaming the wrong guy. So there's this girl, Alice. So she is a big Agatha Christie fan. So she tries to kind of uncover the truth. I would say this is a good book if you're a beginner in the whole murder mystery genre and if you just want to read something that is not too intense. So this will be definitely good in that sense. I would still give it like a 3.5 star because it was pretty good. And then I read one of the very popular books that I was seeing like all over the internet, which is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I bought this book because I really liked the cover of this book and the title of this book also was very appealing to me. But when I was reading it, I tried so hard to like this book because I know people give this book a lot of good reviews, but I still somehow, you know, just ended up not liking it. This is about this girl who decides to have this whole year of rest and relaxation after the loss of her parents. She's very rich, like she inherited all the money and she's living in an Upper East Side apartment. She also has a boyfriend who doesn't treat her very well. So she meets this psychiatrist who's not a very good psychiatrist. So the girl, she lies to the psychiatrist that she's having all these issues. She needs very strong meds to fall asleep and the psychiatrist just gives her whatever she wants. I was really annoyed while reading this book. Like a lot of the times I was just like, you know, I should just give up. but then I thought, okay, like maybe it'll get better, but it didn't. But I still don't want to say that I don't recommend this, because I know that there are a lot of people who say good things about it, but I've also like seen some bad reviews, so I know that I'm not alone in this. If you like to give this book a try, you can just go ahead. Overall, not a very good experience reading this book. It was just, I felt like it was a waste of my time, honestly. So coming to the next book, which is another very popular book, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellers. So actually I bought this book because one of the very famous YouTubers, I am not remembering his name at the moment, but he has actually suggested that this is one of the books that you should read in your 20s. So I was really curious. Plus, I really like the cover also, it's very pretty. I actually like this book a lot. I haven't read anything like this before. This was definitely a very new experience for me. It's about this girl Cleo and this guy Frank. They meet one night very randomly, and then they form a very instant connection, and very shortly after they end up marrying each other. So this is a story about everything that happens after their marriage, all the ups and downs, mostly the downs, and then a lot of people, like their friends, what is going on in their lives, on stories, different like financial conditions, confusions about their identity. A lot of different issues are going on. So it's not just about Cleo or Frank. You get a lot of point of views about different kinds of people, honestly. I would not say that this was a very pleasant experience reading this book. I mean, I was kind of very sad towards the end. I would definitely recommend this book. Although one thing I would say that this took me a long time to get through the whole book. I feel like this book is not just like a very light read. This definitely is very heavy, and for me it was, at least. I also gifted this book to my friend, and she also kind of had the same feelings like mine, you know. So yeah, you should definitely read this. Next book I want to talk about is Funny You Should Ask. I'm not gonna lie, I bought this book because of how stunning the cover is. This is such a pretty cover. I think this is one of the prettiest books that I've ever owned. So this book is about this movie star called Gabe, and this struggling writer Shani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but then all of her classmates are getting some good book deals, but she's just stuck and she's not able to write anything great. She was hired to write a profile on the movie star Gabe, and Gabe happens to be her celebrity crush. I mean, how convenient, isn't it? So they meet and they kind of have a really good time together, but then something happens. I'm not exactly remembering it, but the profile that she writes of Gabe becomes very popular. I mean, she becomes popular because of the profile that she wrote on him, and then they meet again after 10 years, but then the connection between them is not that great because of what happened in the past. So the story revolves around what happened then and what's happening now. So it's kind of like, you know, going back and forward with the writing. I would say that this book is definitely a very cute romantic book, and I would definitely suggest if you want something very light. And then the last book that I read is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I definitely bought this book because Haley Pham was speaking so highly of this, and I'm gonna say she's not wrong. This is such an amazing, cute little romance book. This book is about this girl Liz, who is a hopeless romantic. She has grown up watching all these romantic movies, whereas her next door neighbor Wes Bennett is not her boyfriend material. Like, she definitely doesn't look at him that way. So she has this childhood crush called Michael, who was out of town for a very long time, but then he comes back to town again. So she ends up taking Wes Bennett's help in order to kind of win Michael, but then the story kind of, you know, changes. Like, she ends up finding that Wes is not how she thought he was. This book was making me blush, making me giggle, and I was just having butterflies while reading this book. I mean, that's a sign of a good romance book. I would recommend this book if you want to read something, again, like a romantic light, something that will make you giggle, something that will make you smile. These are all the books that I read this month. Now I'm going to talk about the books that I bought recently. These are the books that are in my TBR list. So the first book that I have is The Younger Wife by Sally Hapworth. I don't know much about this book, honestly. Julie and Rachel Eston are murderers upon discovering that their father has a new girlfriend half his age, all the while being married to their mother, who is in care facility with Alzheimer's. I mean, this sounds interesting to me. The second book that I have is The Woman in the Window. This was actually a gift by my supervisor. She gifted this to me on my birthday. She was just really sweet. I actually started reading this book, but I haven't finished it yet, and this is about this woman who is suffering from agoraphobia, and she's just locked in her house. She doesn't want to go anywhere out. She spends the whole day watching her neighbors, and then one day she ends up seeing something horrible. That's all I'm gonna say. This sounded very interesting, this whole plot. And the third book, I believe I got it back when I was at home in the book fair. This is a murder mystery actually. So this murder happens in the Regency Grand Hotel, and the maid who happens to notice a lot of things about everybody, she's kind of like an important part obviously in this book. That's why it's called The Maid. This is another murder mystery, A Fatal Crossing. The whole book sets in a ship, 2,000 passengers and a killer. It should be interesting, I mean. And then I have this book called Breasts and Eggs. I actually have no idea what this is about, but then I know that this is a very good, critically acclaimed book, and I was just really interested to read this. It says that it's top 40 books by female authors. I am definitely excited to read this one. And the last book that I got is, I think I'm the most excited about this one. It's called Icebreaker, and this is a romance book. The girl, she skates, I think, and the guy is a hockey player. This had a great rating in the Goodreads, so that also is another reason I got really excited about it. These are the books that I'm gonna read. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I actually had a great time filming this. I have filmed after so long, and I'm feeling slightly productive, to be honest. I'll see you in my next video, hopefully very soon. Until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.